Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for January the 29th through February 4th, 2024. So, as we begin, I'd like to thank everyone who is returning to this weekly series and to also welcome anyone who's new to our Angelic Wisdom community. Just a few reminders before we begin. First, make sure that you're subscribed and select the all notification bell, like, dislike, and leave your comments. If you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services, and that'll be a link that you can find in the description area below this video. If you also like to support my channel with a donation, you can go to my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom. Also, I will be working on the general monthly angel reading for February and the angel scopes for each zodiac sign for this month. So those things will be coming out. I have not forgotten about the annual reading for 2024. Just really been trying to catch up. And so on some things since I got back from the funeral. However, also the reading that I think I'm going to do, that I think I've now decided upon, it's quite, well, it's a little bit more elaborate than these readings. So I went and sort of ordered a mini deck so that hopefully I can fit the majority of the reading in the camera with some other kind of adjustments. So I'll be working on that. And it's sort of going to be more by the seasons of the year and looking at different areas of our lives, just say like our relationships, etc., this kind of thing. Just looking at these 4 areas of our lives. So that's what I'm working on, and hopefully we'll get it out soon enough for the year. Okay, and let's go ahead now and take a deep breath. And just relax and allow your aura to just expand. And as you do this, we call in your guardians of light, your angels, to surround you in a beautiful gold aura. And as you breathe in this gold light into every cell of your body, this draws your angels and their messages closer to you. This allows you to connect in with your guardian angel and all the other angels that are working with you. So they're showing me the word Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio, right now the word Scorpio, and then they wrote the word lack. So the energy for Scorpio, the first thing that comes up for me is transformation and transmutation. And this lack seems to be of healing, sort of abundance consciousness. And um, so there's a feeling of a shift. And they're writing the word compelled. You're really going to be feeling compelled to really address. And it's almost, it feels like a light is just really going to shine upon some of the shadow aspects that are sort of, I get this feeling of being very creepy and just sort of, that's been there all along. Just sort of these creepers, the stalkers of the ego that have been just sort of feeding the this sense of limitation and lack around really expansive ideas. And so they keep writing the word release. This is really going to be a time for you to release those limitations. And they wrote the word neglect. And I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional, but definitely this sense of, it feels like a spotlight really, and they're correcting me, more like starlight, sort of shining down into the crevices of these shadow aspects of you, in order for you to really um, intentionally see how it's what it's creating. And it's almost like you're going to be ready to deal with what you see. And I think they wrote starlight shining upon you because they're also writing stargates. And so this gives me a sense that different stargates, different um, beings from other star system or other stars or galaxies or parts of the universe, like, are working with you to really help you to get sort of unstuck. And they write from this period of suspension where you've been feeling like you're just stuck in you can't move, you can't make changes, and nothing is really happening. So this is going to be a real sort of death experience for many of you, meaning where, and I've been getting a lot of cards, even for the daily card messages, starting at the end of the week that we just had and going into the next week, the number 10. And so, the thought was, yes, we're really at the end of a cycle and at the beginning of a new one. So the possibilities are endless now as we're getting, it's sort of like with that feeling. They're writing the word hope. There's just a whole new, it seems like um, this fresh sort of experience of hope is breathing. Hope is just being breathed into every um, layer of your life and your reality. It's in order to awaken you. So they're writing cosmic. And so this is something that is happening on such a cosmic level. And so there's a big opportunity in this week, a cosmic opportunity this week for many souls to awaken. That is to say, no longer be numb or asleep to the truth. And that truth will show you, and also at the same time prepare you and make you ready to deal with those changes that need to be made so that you can release those habits that are no longer serving you. So, a powerful window of opportunity. And they're showing me when they show me a window, that's my symbol for windows of opportunity. But there's a cup with, you know, blossoms in it, and it kind of reminds me of the Six of Cups. So, in the sense that um, maybe dreams, long-awaited dreams that have just been waiting to blossom, and or things that you've really wanted to fulfill, that there's an opportunity. You might finally see an end to this suspension and a path for you to fulfill that dream or desire or goal that you've had that's been sort of just there for such a long time. And in that window, they show me sort of an eye. And I don't know if it's the third eye, because it's sort of resting on the ledge of the window. And it seems as though it's not quite sure. You know, it's just, it reminds me of like a dog when they look at you, their eyes, like they kind of, either they would like you to pet them or just give them a little attention, like you've been neglecting me for a little while. Um, Look, or that they might have done something that they don't want to tell you about, but they're kind of coming to give you a heads up that they did it. And um, and so there's something about this eye and the way it's laying there on that windowsill with that same kind of feeling. And you know, mm, I'm not quite sure if you're telling yourself that that maybe it's sort of like I screwed this up. You know, maybe there's a feeling like I didn't, I screwed this up. You know, this opportunities, you've had opportunities before, and maybe you're feeling like, yeah, I've screwed it up before, and there's just no, you know, no chance, or could you give me another chance? And if you're saying this to God and the universe, then you're really saying that to your ego, because you can't have a conversation with God like this, because God doesn't see you the way that you've chosen to see yourself. That's you. It's not God, it's not the angels. You have no reason to hold your head low, to sort of, you know, come to God or the angels in this way. They don't see that in you. That's you seeing yourself that way. And that's a thing that you can ask them to help you. As I say that, I feel this energy just flow up into this, sort of just uplifting you just ever so slightly. And with that, it's so slight, but it's so powerful. It's so empowering, encouraging, and nurturing. And so these are the things that you need to ask when you feel like that, when you see your self in a way that the universe could never ever see you, because they see your truth at all times. And though they can also perceive what you are perceiving about yourself, because you're holding yourself in this place of contempt, while they can see what you're doing to yourself, they cannot acknowledge it with you. They forever remain focused upon the potential of all, within all things and within everyone. That is what allows you and I to be able, because they hold that position, that brilliant light within all things and within everyone, because they hold it. It is what allows us to find the strength to reach for it. And now they're saying that you can do more than just reach for it. You can hold it. You can have it. You can experience it. You can become it. And so they invite you in this week to call upon them for that support, to turn around within yourself, to transform just how you see yourself and the world, so that you can reach for and ultimately experience and become that reality, that vision of opportunity and abundance. So in this week, take full advantage of the cosmic opportunities that are being opened to all of us. And I'm seeing one of my clients' names, Una, for some reason. So maybe this is a special message to you and about the changes that you're crossing through their writing. So really, all of you, we're all crossing through, so to speak, these changes. And there's something interesting about that. You're crossing through these changes. And some of these changes might be very difficult. They might be more internal challenges, sort of, going through the dark night of your soul, just because you want to reach that potential, that light, just because you dare to aim for it or give yourself permission to be open to these cosmic opportunities, you might really experience sort of a barrage of being, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of berated by the ego in terms of all these limitations and the lack. You might think, well, I can't do that because I need this and this and that. But as I was saying to a client yesterday, don't forget that as creators, the process of creating, things becoming, things unfolding and working towards them and getting your hands dirty in the dirt, in the soil of what you're planting is a great pleasure for you. So don't let things like, well, I need to be able to get the right place or be in the or network with the right people. Don't let that discourage you, because that means you get to create that. You get to work on creating that network of people. You get to write the emails to see if they would be interested in collaborating with you or helping you in some way or introducing you to so and so. Or you get to research the location that would be perfect for you. Or you get to create the new exhibit. You get to create the brainstorm the ideas of the things that you want this exhibit to display. It's all about what you get to do. Don't focus on what you have to do. Don't focus on it in that way. Think about this is every day. What do I get to do? Wake up. Don't make a list of what I have to do, because that's coming from that feeling of inadequacy, overwhelm. It sets up the anxiety. But instead, create a list of what I get to do today. Just think about if you woke up or before going to bed at night in preparation for the next day, you think about what you get to do. And that becomes your to-do list. My get to do list. Because when you think like this, you become the creator. You align with your true nature. And this overrides that default for believing and seeing yourself as a limitation. It opens you up to this generosity frequency of the universe that is flowing through you and towards you. And when you are on it, it is just effortless to receive whatever is there for you. It also takes fewer explanations. You are thinking less or offering less explanation, and you are giving and receiving instead. Therefore, if you focus on what you get to do and you keep even the thing that's on your list, like say the networking, well, now I get to network today to promote my business. And then what is one of the things you get to do? Now you get to do this. Now I get to promote myself on Instagram or set up my Instagram account. It can be simple. Nothing has to be the finished product in order for you to be involved and fulfilling the path towards the outcome. When this I get to do is how the journey unfolds. What I have to do is how the journey drags on. And you feel like you're stuck in this sort of you're stuck in this suspended place. Now, there's a couple other words that I want to put out there for you. One, I don't know. And cancel that one always. That's one of the biggest defaults of the voice of limitation. To counteract it realistically and practically, instead say, I think I know. That is sort of a turning point. And they wrote manifestation. That saying, I think I know what to do, or I think I understand what this is, or I think I see, because a lot of times somebody will say, what do you want to do? And you say, well, I like to do this. And you go, okay, so but I don't know if I could find the people to network. I don't know if I could come up with the idea of what to dot, 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 dot. So you always know, because the innermost observer, and this is some language that came up yesterday in a client lesson reading. I'm going to call it the true observer. And then there is the ego, which I'm going to call the interpreter observer, because the ego interprets. And interpretations is a shady business. It's a shady business because the interpretations could be wrong. And in the twisted mind of the ego, which is fear, those interpretations could really spin off into so many places. However, we can sometimes align with the true observer, the peace within. And why I'm just speaking about this for a little bit is because from that place within, and I'm going to admit, I just forgot where I was talking about. I don't know where that came up in the moment, but I'll find it. So it's just really important for all of us to make sure that what we are focused upon. So I was talking about, I don't know, I think I think I know, okay? And of course ultimately leading to I know. So the reason why I was talking about the inner observer is because the inner observer always knows. It always has the solutions because it's coming from a place of pure truth, clarity, ultimately wisdom and knowledge because of everything that you've lived. It has appreciated it all. It has never judged or criticized any of it. It took from it, it gleaned from all of it wisdom, enlightenment. And so it's always, because of everything you've lived, right or wrong, it's even more confident in its knowing and its assurance because it's witnessed not just parts of something that is unfolded, or it has not just witnessed parts of your life, like only when things are going well or only when things are going wrong. It's looked at the entirety of your soul's complete expansion of lifetimes, and it knows you, and it knows the world, the universe. And so it can offer clear assurances. And so, where just another breakdown of this, I think I know, when I started doing these readings, I would see things. I tell you about my hieroglyphs and the words to sometimes, and sometimes I would see it, and then my first instinct is, what is that? I don't know what that means. Then I would see words, and sometimes they spell wrong on purpose. And sometimes they don't give me the complete word spelled out, just the beginning of it. And they were trying to teach me this very thing I'm telling you. I did know. I had a first, before I could think that I didn't know, I knew. But I was afraid to know it. Because that's what fear is all about. And so when I just started saying, okay, I think I know what that is, then I began to be able to accept the clear knowing that I have. That is to say, we all, the inner observer, the true observer, who is completely detached from all the attachments, first of all, and the all attachments to the outer reality, which it knows is not real. That only itself, the source, is real. And so it never gets attached to any of these things. This is why it never dismisses your true potential or the true potential in all things, because it has no attachment to what you have interpreted otherwise, which is what the ego is. And I don't know if you get a sense of this now. We can feel a clear delineation between the true observer, the source within, your I am presence source, whatever you want to call it, soul, versus the ego, versus the outer reality. And the whole idea is that if you're going to try to make any changes or be one with the changes that are unfolding right now, this sort of death experience, this transformation we're going through, ending of cycles, the way to get through this is to weather the storm from the perspective of the true observer. And so there, the knowing comes before you even have, before your ego speaks. But we've become so conditioned that we've forgotten that it speaks to us first. We hear the knowledge, the wisdom, the clarity, but a split second later, the only thing you really hear is your ego, your fears, and your doubts. So focus on what I get to do, not what you have to do. Make a list of what you get to do every day. And don't practice I don't know, because that is what you will attract to you. Because remember, the universe is like a computer. Whatever you write in there is what it's going to give you. I don't care if you wrote, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. When it processes it, it's going to align you with everything that you do not want, that you said you don't want, whether you said it out loud or inside. So if you say, I think I know, then you will start to attract to you that knowing, because that is turning in a direction. And once you do, eventually I'm so confident now, I just say, I know. And when I don't mean that I don't know. I mean, I need to take a moment to be silent and to listen to my true observer, or wait for my interpreter observer to get quiet, to shut up without, once I take my attention from him, it'll shut up, and then I can hear the true observer and know, just like I had to do when I lost my place, which they probably did on purpose. All right, so let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with this week. And we've had this archangel, Seraphim, come up recently. It's Seraphim Seraphisa. And it says, relax and open up to source. So if you really want to get out of this suspension, instead of resisting, fighting, trying to fix, you can't fix the outer reality by starting your operations out there. The operations out there are just a reflection of what you've allowed to be the condition of in there. Not at the level of the observer, the true observer. It's firewalled. It cannot be blemished at all. You and I don't have the power to hack and shift anything from the true observer. However, what we're playing from is the interpreter observer. And notice they both are observers. It's an extension, but it's a lower vibration, as all things are in the physical world. Everything is a lesser vibration, frequency of the pure source. And when we just relax, so there's another word I use in a right, and I'm probably not going to remember it right now, but in order to not be caught up in the troubles of the world, or to be caught up in the storm, you must be within the eye of it. And so when a storm is brewing, I'm not saying to let this storm hit you. What I am saying is that you must be in the eye of the storm to be able to know the truth and to accept the actions that are plausible for you to take or create at that moment. But when you're in the interpretive observer, you are reacting, trying to fix everything, like you're like a chicken with his head cut off. You're not paying attention and you're not applying wisdom. And so whatever you do there is only going to escalate the issues. And so she cautions you and reminds you just to relax and open up to source. Keep your heart open. All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. And so we have some Wands energy here, the Son of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. And there's a sense here, with this, the Son of Wands, very headstrong, right? But also very highly motivated. When they get something in their sort of mind or their heart, when they become passionate, they just blaze it, just like this wand that he's holding. It just becomes extremely focused, gung-ho, driven, just dives right in, gives, and here I think the word is just giving it your all. So when you find that thing that lights you up, first of all, you'll know, because you'll be thinking to yourself, I get to do this. And once you get to do this, you start the impulses become so rapid that you don't have enough time or energy to really focus on what you're doubting. So follow that sort of that driving force in your life that just comes from your instincts, not from your head, but your instincts. Just keep, following that driving force within your gut, within your lower gut. Just keep going with that and see what life feels like when you get to do so many things that you couldn't even have imagined wanting to do or having to do. The Seven of Pentacles here reminds us to honor the process, that what you're dealing with right now is a process. And when you want to make progress, you have to honor the process that got you there in the first place. Don't abandon your process that is allowing you to start to see some success. Now, this card means an investment. This card is reminding you that this is sort of a long-term investment. You're investing in a process that is already basically showing you evidence of minor success. But the minor success will turn into major success if you keep enforcing that process. And this is a process where you're past the stages of figuring this out and trying to tweak this, or trying to get there. This is a process where you've discovered, it's almost like, gardening, and you realize, like, oh, okay, I know how to grow a garden. But now you're at this point where you want to expand it. You want to expand this garden. And so now this is going to take time, because you started with this to see if you could do it, and you figured it out, and now you went through this whole trial and error period, and so now you know what to do, but now you just got to plant more, and it's going to take time for those other things to blossom. You have to wait on the divine timing, the natural timing of whatever that is. And so likewise, there is a natural timing for you to flourish. Your season is coming, but do not negate the season you're currently in, because there's a lot for you to learn there. There's a lot of room for you to grow. There's plenty of opportunity in it. So respect it and open your heart to where you are and what you're learning and becoming. And this is the Two of Swords. And so it's saying that you're struggling, or that you might run into a roadblock at some point. And what I would tell you to do is, if you run into a roadblock, you've either abandoned the process that was working for you, or the process that has brought you, that was meant to bring you to this point, now needs for you to, I'm seeing somebody sleeping on it, so to speak. So it means to me that you need to either rest and let the process now, because there's a point where we can just keep working on the process, but there's a point where we don't need to work on the process because we've done everything that we're supposed to do. And now we have to wait. We have to wait for what our work, the work that we've been working towards and the vision that we've been working towards, we have to allow it to either show us where it needs to go next, or what it wants to become, or what its potential actually is. And that might require you to adjust your lens and then refine your process to appropriately sort of nurture and help that potential to now evolve as it is wanting. So instead of sort of wrestling with it and then letting yourself get stuck or be in a sort of another place of suspension, embrace the suspension. Rest your mind. Relax. Acknowledge the job well done. Acknowledge, how strong and confident you are because of the process you have been working. But now maybe your work is done for now, or maybe there's a new approach. And maybe you need to research some aspects of what you're doing and see if this process needs to be refined in order to accommodate something on a different level. All right, let's take a look at the card I pulled from the bottom of the deck. And this is one of the cards I pulled for Tuesday, which I haven't written yet. I already pulled the cards. I didn't have enough time to do it. And it's interesting. This is the 10 of Wands. And this is so interesting because this is sort of like you can't see the trees for the forest. Or is it the forest for the trees? I think it's the forest for the trees. You can't see one of them. You know what I'm talking about. And so it feels like, there's a lot of barriers. And isn't this the limitation that they were talking about? But look at where those barriers are. It's sort of in the shadows. And that's the place where they're going to bring that light in. But know that there's a light beyond there. And this shadow, deep shadow area where you're feeling yourself stuck. You've been in this suspended place. And it's overwhelming you. However, what's overwhelming is the pent up potential. So instead of feeling overwhelmed by a lot of negativity and limiting beliefs, recognize that it's just really the potential that has not been held back, but it's been brewing, it's been marinating, better word, and becoming richer and more delicious and more abundant. And if you think of it this way, then you'll release the resistance. And as they are writing in front of me, and then you'll just let it happen naturally. And you'll be free. You cannot resist. What you resist will persist. And what you focus on increases. And so once you let it go, then you'll be clear to focus on what you get to do, and this will increase for you. And this is the way to move through that transition, to transmute the lower frequencies and to transform into all that has been waiting there for you, because nothing has been limited or locked up or held back or diminished. This can never be, because the true observer has been collecting, and all of the lessons and all the love and the wisdom, and wisdom, creating strength, creating power. And this is what we perceive as potential. Whatever you perceive as potential, whether within you or another, is you knowing the observer, the true observer within yourself and within others. The source, the I am. And so I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And the Seraphim Seraphisa just quickly came to me telepathically. When we all, the Seraphims, are working with our true observer, because its vibration and frequency is at least 7th dimension or higher. And the purer access of the observer, that the true observer that we access or retrieve, will allow us to reach the an even more higher dimension of the source. So this is what they work with and are overlighting for you now. And so in this week, connect in. The way to tune in and connect with Seraphim Seraphisa on an energetic level is, and then this is just to receive her help, meaning they kind of spread the seeds of the source that to help you to open up to that potential. And so as you do this work that we've been discussing here, you allow the seraphim to enhance the qualities of the true observer within yourself, your I am presence, and really shift and transform your outer reality. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless you.